What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing on this wonderful Tuesday? It was a beautiful day outside in Florida, and we are finally in the new studio. It's not done yet all the way, but we're here. Guys, give me a little break if the internet is not fully tweaked out. It's my first time in here. Literally had my equipment dropped off to me by my wonderful wife, who has her first solo segment tonight. We'll talk more about that in just a second. But if for any reason, guys, the internet gets a little bit sketchy, it's something that we're working on. Like I said, not even been in here for a full hour. I got everything set up about 6:45. Did my first audio test. We're good to go. But that being said, guys, we got a great show lined up for you tonight. We got Makayla Patterson on first with Amanda's Women of FWA segment. That should be an awesome segment. And then afterwards, we have her awesome husband, Mr. Dalton Patterson, operations supervisor of High Pointe Companies out of Colorado on. And we're going to be talking about all things commercial Chainlink, which is, if you really know me, you know that Chainlink is A, not something that I'm good at because I barely ever do it, but B, I formerly hated it. I actually really am starting to get very fond of it now. I've been doing a lot of it here recently and starting to like it. So there we go. Real quick, guys, had a wonderful week. I did. Went fishing for a little bit on Saturday, caught a couple fish, ate a couple fish. A win for the week is going to be the cooler weather, man, because I'll tell you what, I didn't sweat a drop today. That was awesome. That was awesome. Loss is going to be, and I had to think about this real hard because I had a great week, to be honest with you. But I mean, everybody's got to have a loss in a 7-day period. It's just how the world works, right? So I guess my loss, and this is me being kind of vulnerable here, is losing manpower on a big job while we are under the gun. Job was supposed to be completed a couple days ago. It's not. We're busy. Is what it is. We're low on manpower. But had one person put their 2 weeks in yesterday, and that was their last day. So that hurt. And then I sent one home today. No, I already knew that we were low. But sometimes that's what you got to do as a manager, right? You gotta send them home if they're not work ready. But I'm not going to get into that. Real quick, I do want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, National Metal Industries, Mr. Mike Levy, www.nmifence.com. Guys, go check them out. Ask for a mailer while you're there. Real awesome stuff. And also JC GURY, www.jcgury. I have a little surprise over here for my attendees. Just kind of briefly showed. It's all wrapped up nice and neat. I'll show that to you guys later on whenever we talk about the upcoming events. But without further ado, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get my wife on, and I'm going to hand it over to her to do her 15-minute Women of FWA segment. I'm super excited about this. This is going to be the first time that I'm just going to get off the screen and let her do her thing. And whenever she's done, I'll come back on and we will go on with the regular show as planned. So guys, here we go. And she is at home tonight because she had to cook dinner. So that's why she's not sitting right next to me. But other than that.
Hi, guys.
Hey, beautiful. What's going on?
Not much. Just waiting to introduce my first lady.
Nice. I love it. Well, I'm going to leave the honors all to you. You want to go ahead and introduce your guest?
Absolutely. I have the beautiful Miss Makayla Patterson on.
All right, we're going to go ahead and bring her on the screen, guys. I'm just going to say hello, and then I'm going to jump off and let them do their thing.
Hi, Precious.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Go ahead, babe.
So good. So happy to be here.
Well, I'm going to let you guys do your thing, and I will talk to you later on, all right?
All right.
Here we go.
All right, Miss Makayla. I had the pleasure of meeting your beautiful face in Vegas.
Stop. Likewise, honestly.
It's wonderful. And I love this little segment I have highlighting women in the industry now because I just feel like we need that 15 minutes of fame, we need
I
it.
love this for us. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what you do in the industry.
Okay, so I work alongside my husband and family, High Pointe Companies out of Colorado. We do commercial Chainlink, like Billy said, and I just run all the social media on the back end side. So, website. We have a little YouTube video that I want to kind of bring back, or like YouTube channel that I want to bring back to life. I do the Facebook. So anything social media wise that comes out from us, it's all me.
Yes, I love that. And you've got to teach me some things because I need to know them.
You call me anytime.
I will, because I definitely need some pointers. I can't lie. But other than being a wonderful woman in the fence industry, you are a mom as well.
I am. I have two littles, a daughter, she's 5, and then a son, he's 2. So I know they're just little guys. They're so cute.
Are any of them interested? I know that sounds weird, but Leilani was drawing fence. I guess her blueprints at like 6. So anyone interested?
Totally. Yeah. So the shop is, at our in-laws' house. We have like a huge kind of property in the back end side. And so they come to work all the time with dad, and they know probably more than I know, honestly, to be honest. They like equipment and parts and names of this, and they'll come home and be like, "Oh, we drove this and this." And I'm like, "Wow, that's so cool." So they're definitely showing interest, and I think it's great just to be able to keep, the family together, and we can all kind of bond over working together.
Absolutely. I've definitely had both of the kids with Billy at some point. Silas, I'm pretty sure, is actually built a fence.
I love that.
More on the illustration side. Wants to draw it out for you, not necessarily build it, but she'll draw.
Got to do what you're good at, though.
All right. So other than that, Miss America that does everything.
Oh.
I know you have to have a hobby. Like, do you have a hobby other than that?
Not really. We go outside a lot, so I think connecting with nature is something that we, the kids and I love to do. Yeah, parks. We don't really go on hikes just because they're so small, and I listen to music all the time and read, and those are kind of like my outlets. When I'm not doing anything, I'm like, this is a me time. Let me like crank my song and listen to it, or just something little.
That's fair. We do a little bit of art. We're not artists by any means, but that's what we learn when we're bored and have some extra time. And anything from painting to teaching us pastels off of YouTube.
I love that.
Yes, I love watching YouTube videos and just watching and learning how to do it. And then we just all try. And no matter how it turns out, I always tell them art is what you make it. Like, you can't say it's wrong because it's yours. So
YouTube is so great for that. I feel like you can learn really anything off YouTube.
YouTube University.
It's so great.
All right. And then, of course, I want to hit on the women of FWA and all the special things we have going on with that recently.
Yeah, our group is busy, especially in like the women's only group. There's like content and conversations and like everything always flowing. And we share what we can on our public page. So since it's October, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So every Friday we were doing just a little social media, hashtag FWA Pink Strong, wear your pink and post it. So that was really great to see all of, not even women, but men too, getting involved in that little, I don't know, what do you want to call it, like a trend or something like that. And then we have our Halloween social tomorrow that everyone is invited to. You can find all the details on our Facebook page. It's at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Central. right. I do plan on being there.
You have to wear a costume, though, anybody who comes to it, because it's not a Halloween party without a costume.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I can make that work.
I think so. I'm so excited. Yeah,
have-
nothing crazy.
I have a special wig hidden that I have not used for like the last 3 years. So
I'm excited.
also, I wanted to show you my love
Ah.
for sent me. Thank you.
Yes, I was like, wait, we're sending all this stuff for Billy. What does Amanda want? And I was like, beanie. Everybody loves a beanie.
If it's not a hat where I can have my bun out the top, then it's got to be a beanie.
Yes, and I love our beanies. I just wish they had the little poof balls on top. Those are like the only beanies I wear.
We can put one on there.
Totally, I could sew it.
We could do it.
It'd be cute. We can match.
We'll pick a color and we'll do it.
Yes, I love that.
Well, is there anything else you want to say, sweet love, before we get gentlemen?
I don't think so. Just thanks for having me on. This was great. I know we were both kind of like, oh no.
Okay, I'm a little more nervous than you. You've been in the spotlight. Spotlight has not ever been my thing. But I'm working on it.
I think you rocked this.
And I have some lovely ladies that make me feel a lot better about it too. So, and I talk with my hands a lot. So I'm trying to work on that.
Me too. I like usually fidget or something like in my lap so nobody can see.
I need to like tie my hands up while I'm on the thing so I can just stop.
Just sit there. People would be like, are you okay? Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. You just need to keep your hands down.
No, I get it. No, but thank you. I loved this, and I love you and Billy working together too. It's so great to see.
I'm very excited. I know I'm scared, but I am super excited to honestly really dig into the fence industry and really, sink my claws in. It's been something I'd want to do for a little while. So I'm not gonna lie, when I went to Vegas, you girls helped me so much. Like, just see that I can do it too. Like,
yeah,
I can do this.
Totally. And you have so much support behind you too. So anybody's phone is always open, and I'm speaking for the whole ambassador team right now.
You're not wrong. You are absolutely right.
Yes, that goes to anyone.
At any time, and I love it.
Yes.
So thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
And I know now we're going to be going to your lovely husband. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yes.
All right, my sweet love. Well, we're going to hand it over to Billy and Dalton then.
Okay.
Kayla.
That was awesome, y'all. Oh man, I was muted. That was awesome, y'all. That was really awesome. I enjoyed watching that. That was great. Well, Makayla, I'm gonna take you off the screen for just a second, and we're gonna say goodbye to the wife, give you a chance to let Dalton get there, and we're gonna run a commercial. So you got about a minute and a half.
Sounds great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for coming on. You guys rocked it out. I look forward to a lot more of these segments.
Me too.
Damn, babe. Good job. You rocked that one. Good job, babe.
Well, it helped that Makayla is so kind and very easy to speak with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, if your significant other in the fence industry wants to be a part of the podcast and do just a little 10 to 15 minute segment, it doesn't have to be a 10-minute segment, a 15-minute segment, just kind of talk here and there. Shoot me a message at thegatekeeperspod@gmail.com, and we will get it set up and go from there. And babe, you got anything else for anybody?
Yes, you don't have to work in the industry. You can just be a housewife of a fencer or you know what I mean? You can just work in the industry of sales, anything that has to do with any way that is in your life in some way. I want to talk to you. Like, let's shout you out. Let's highlight you. You matter too.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. And we love everything that the women of FWA is doing. Granted, it was my first show in Vegas, but I do have to say, for a fence show, there was quite a lot of ladies there. But all right, babe. Well, we will see you next week for your next segment of the Women of FWA. You want to give a hint on who you got, or you want to keep it secret?
I am keeping it secret.
All right, there it is from the mouth of the one who's doing the segment. So, guys, we will see my beautiful wife again next week, and we're going to go ahead and run a commercial before we get Mr. Dalton on.
National Metal Industries, a family-owned business for 70-plus years, has grown to be recognized for their ability to deliver on not just privacy slats for fence, but all types of fence products. National Metal Industries has all the hardware and tools to get the fence professional in and out of their job with the most ease possible. You can count on National Metal Industries for the most convenient resources in fence products. Visit nmifence.com for more information. As we like to say, you can always pick it right at National.
Boom. I freaking love that commercial every time it rolls, man. That's my first one, and I freaking love it every time it rolls. But anyways, let's go ahead and get Mr. Dalton on, operations supervisor from High Pointe Companies based out in Colorado. And here we go.
What's up, Billy?
What's going on, buddy?
Not a lot.
Oh, yeah, man. Not a whole lot here either, man. I got your hat on tonight. Like it's turned
see.
backwards because
I recognized it right away.
My eyes. Oh yeah. And it's one of my favorite Richardsons, I have to say. Like I put it on the first time and I always know like I leave 2 buttons open and it's a perfect fit. Like I put it on and I was like, oh man, I gotta have 3 buttons open. I was like, man, this is nice and like not like tight fitting and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite Richardson hats, like by far.
Yeah, I'm kind of a hat snob. So we used to have some, Richardson knockoffs, and the print shop we go through finally got some Richardsons, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what we're getting. They cost a little more.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
It's absolutely worth it, man. I freaking love them, dude. I got like probably 30 or 40 of them. I'm the same way, dude. I love hats. I freaking love hats. So, but all right, man. So how was your past 7 days?
Not too bad. We've been kind of rocking and rolling. Had a couple little hiccups, but in those hiccups, we've kind of made things work. So no, it's going good.
Awesome, man. Well, I normally ask pretty much everybody that's on the show this. If I put you on the spot for it, I'm sorry. Can you give me a win and a loss for the week?
Let's see. A win, I would say, well, let's start with a loss. A loss, we are doing a job for some public transit in a city we've never worked in. We're kind of we're north of Denver, and then there's all the cities surrounding Denver. So we've got, as far as actual municipalities, like 30 or so that we could work in with all different licensing and all that. So this one specifically, we had called during the bid process. Oh no, we don't need a contractor license. We're good there. We've got our fence permit. We're all set. Then the guys are on site. They've got about half the post set, and the city inspector comes and says, nope, stop work. Where's your contractor license? So had to get that straightened out. That took about 10 days, I think. So that was a loss, I would say, because we had to scramble to get, a whole handful of guys somewhere to be to make money while we're waiting on the unknown amount of time that contractor license is going to take. So I'd say that was our loss. The win actually ties right into that is we got a bunch of the smaller in-between fill-in jobs that were on the books that have been on the books for too long. We got a bunch of those done. So we made it work. It all worked out.
Man, what's great about those is like it might be small little paydays, but dude, you knock 3 or 4 of those out in the day, turns into a pretty damn good day at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, they add up.
I like them. Oh yeah, absolutely do. All right. Well, give us a little bit of information about High Pointe Companies. You said you were north of Denver. What actual city are you out of?
So we're in Fort Collins.
Okay.
Some people, CSU, that's where they're at, Colorado State University. We're real far north, so we're actually closer to Cheyenne than we are Denver. We're only about 35 minutes from Cheyenne, Wyoming. We're about 15, 20 minutes from the border, so we're pretty far north. But so we've got, like I said, probably about 30 municipalities that are within, an hour drive of us. Most of our work, though, is right around the Fort Collins area. So we're probably commuting 30 minutes on average to jobs. So not terrible. There's plenty of work around here.
It's about the same here. Our normal average commute is anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes. So
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we can go down to the suburbs on the south side of Denver, and that's 2.5 hour drive. So we try and stay out of there, but some jobs it's worth going there.
Oh yeah, no, trust me, I know. Tomorrow we're getting here at 6 a.m. because we got an hour-and-a-half drive to Freeport. So we do it too. We do it as well.
Not ideal,
but if the money's there, if the money's there, just go to it, right? So how long has High Pointe been in business?
So we've got, I guess, kind of a different story than a lot of the other fence companies around. So we've been in business since 2013. That's when we got registered with the state and all that, and at least became legit. The company did some other stuff before that, before being official. But we started actually in large acreage mowing. So we were doing, let's see, we had a couple tractors, 15 to 20 foot wide mowers, and we were doing about 4,000 acres a year mowing. So, and that was mostly around here. I don't know how it is some other areas of the country, but we've got a lot of subdivisions where they've got lots of open space and they try and keep it native. But they also want it to look nice. So it's kind of this balance of cutting it down, but it's also native grass, so it doesn't grow great when it's cut. So that's a whole nother thing. But we did that up until 2020. And in 2019 is when we officially started our fencing division. We've been getting calls, we do a lot of acreage mowing, so there's usually some fence around grass. So we get fence repairs, and then that turned into, hey, you guys did great on those repairs. Can you install some barbed wire fence here? A little bit of cedar here and there. And so, 2019, we opened the fencing division, and we ran that, both of those for a year. At the time, sorry, this might be a little long-winded.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
Okay, great. At the time, kind of the mowing industry in our area, when we got into it, there were, I'd say probably 5 or 6 companies doing the large acreage stuff in our area. When we got out of it, we were the last ones. And the whole business kind of was going more towards keeping everything, letting it grow, not worrying about that stuff so much. So we kind of got out of it at the perfect time. And we ran both those divisions for a year, which that was a struggle in itself. If you want to have a company that does more than one thing, be ready for it, because it's a lot. But yeah, then we started kind of in the ag, a little bit of residential market. Quickly decided that's not where we wanted to be. Multiple reasons, but the big ones were the paychecks are a lot smaller than they could be, doing larger jobs. And then kind of the scheduling of it, everybody in their backyard wants their fence done now. And we can't get to it for a month. Sometimes that's an issue. And then just being in people's backyards, people looking out the windows. I don't like that. I know a lot of the guys don't like that. So we quickly decided we wanted to move more into the commercial space. We already had a lot of commercial contacts from the mowing side of things. So it was kind of an easy in of, hey, I know you've got these 100 acres around your commercial site. If you guys need a new fence, let us know. So we moved into that area, and it was somewhat transitory. And now we do maybe 3 or 4 backyards a year, and that's for guys that own commercial property.
Right. All right.
That's kind of our
Totally
story getting where we're at.
Hell yeah, man. I love it. I love it. And so like I said in my intro, like a lot of the people who actually like really know me personally know that like Chainlink is not one of my favorites. It's not something I have ever said I'm a pro at, but here recently I've gotten pretty fond of it. Been doing a lot, like a lot more of it, a lot more of the commercial side of the Chainlink stuff. And man, I gotta tell you, man, it's a real art form. Like none of the other styles of fences I consider a true art form. Like it's takes a lot to get really good at chain link.
I could see a little bit of art in some cedar, but really that's it. And then on the chain link side, like it might just be me, but a nice flowing chain link fence over some hills, I think it looks nice, and it does take a bit of an eye and a little bit of work to get it to look good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, how many crews are you guys running over there?
So we got 8 guys in the field, and 4 pickups. And the crew size, it kind of varies. So on these larger jobs, typically 2 guys or 2 trucks, 3-man crews is pretty standard. And then the other 2 trucks, one being mine, kind of fill in here and there. So whether that be, I take 3 guys with me one day, or I go by myself to go do something. That's kind of some of the fill in or the more specialty stuff. But yeah, those 2 trucks are going to all the jobs we produce.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
then we've got in addition to those 8 guys, we've got 3 office staff. 2 of them are part-time, one's full-time, and then we got a part-time guy that runs around and delivers equipment, picks up, odds and end material stuff, kind of does the random stuff that needs to be filled in.
Right. Well, that's awesome, dude. So you've told us how you got into commercial, like Chainlink. What's your favorite part about it, and then what's your least favorite part about it?
Least favorite part is tying.
Yeah.
I hate tying chain link. We use the easy twist ties, so that makes it better at least. But it's just so monotonous and repetitive. Not my favorite.
Hey man, I can relate on that one right now. I've been tying for 2 days. Chris just walked in and grabbed his stuff, but so I've been tying for 2 days on a 3,500 foot job, and I have blisters all over my fingers, and it's not the funnest job.
Not
tying all day long. You're right. It's so monotonous. Like I kept looking up and being like, so much more footage to go.
Yeah. And you move so slow. It's terrible.
I know, man. I'm like, every time I move the ladder, I'm like, all right, cool, 1. But I'm like, oh man, I'm only 7 links down.
Oh yeah, I get that. Yeah, and then favorite part, I would say, let's see, I'd say probably getting top rail to flow nice. If you got a trim posts and any of that, getting it to flow nice, because at the end of the day, that's where the fabric's going to sit. So it's got to look pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's been a hard learning curve for me because, man, I'm used to wood, vinyl, and aluminum. I can make it roll a whole lot easier, but it was a hard learning curve. I'm really starting to get it. I see Chris Steele's in here commenting. He said, "Earning those quick ties, you goddamn right, son."
Yep, that's the way to go for sure.
But yeah, man. So I'm actually kind of falling in love with Chainlink, man. It's been a rough but fun journey, and I'm excited to keep on going with it. But
it's my favorite fence to build, and I mean once you get the hang of it, once you really get it down, it is easy. There's a little bit of a learning curve to it, but it's easy. Even when you get into some of the bias cuts and stuff, once you get a system down, it's super easy to repeat and do it the first time every time.
Oh yeah, man, I'm a big fan of that. Teachable, repeatable, measurable, and I forgot the other one. Like I'm not wearing the shirt tonight, but yeah, man, I am a super fan of it being repeatable and like teachable. So that is a big thing for me. I love it to where I can teach somebody the same way every single time.
Yeah. Well, and then if you make it to where your system is easy to teach, then the guy you just taught it to is going to be using that system, and it's exactly how you want it done. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of it, I think, which is great.
Right. Absolutely does. Absolutely does. All right. Well, hey, we're going to get into our next topic, and something that we deal with as well. It's going to be bigger jobs, bigger paychecks, bigger headaches, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't know about you, but most of these commercial jobs we're doing are pushing a minimum of 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
All of that stuff takes time, takes scheduling, takes equipment getting out there, blase. How do you navigate that being the operations supervisor?
Well, it's all logistics, right? How many guys do I need where, with how much material, what equipment do they need? And that's on the easy side. It's when you get into I need concrete delivered this much, this day, this time, and they're running 2 hours late. It's that kind of stuff
that concrete truck.
Yep. So it's that kind of stuff that becomes more of a challenge, I would say. Whenever you have moving parts that are outside of your control, that's always the holdup. A lot of what I do is just trying to get those logistics down. The internal stuff's fairly easy. You always end up with, we forgot the truss rods somehow. Didn't grab a single truss rod this morning, but they need a couple of them for sure. So it's that kind of stuff that makes me pull my hair out. But no, other than that, it's a lot of just systemizing it and, making it to where it's repeatable.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that was one of my things. I'm going to sidestep on this, but that was one of my things that I was brought into High Steel for, but as well as to minimize those calls. Hey, we didn't bring any truss rods. Well, why didn't you bring any truss rods? I gave you the material pull sheet this morning and you dotted every single thing. Why did you dot the truss rods if they were on the truck? And so, man, I gotta say, dude, we have drastically lowered the amount of times that we gotta call the shop guy Tyler and be like, hey, I need 2 tension bands, or hey, I need 5 2x4s, or something like that.
Right.
And man, that is where you lose so much efficiency, is whenever you're just standing dead in the water. There's nothing for 3 guys to do because they're waiting on 2 freaking brace bands or 2 tension bands. And dude, cutting all of that fat, trimming that fat out has streamlined the process a whole lot. And I didn't mean to get on too much of a side thing, but I'm freaking
for sure. That's important. And I mean, it's once you recognize kind of what that problem is, it's easy to fix. I mean, so all the trucks have a bin with 3 to 10 extra fittings of every size, every fitting they keep on the truck all the time, because inevitably the count will be off by 2, and then they're short 2 brace bands. And then what do? You're right. You got to send, have the shop guy come out, have 3 guys sit there doing absolutely nothing over 2 brace bands. It's kind of ridiculous, right? So once you recognize that stuff, keep an extra bin of parts on the truck. We stage all our material. There's that's 4 jobs. It all gets organized in little spots out in the yard. Well, why'd they forget the truss rods? Because it was on the pull sheet. they marked it off that they put it on the truck, but guess where it was sitting? Right in that spot in the yard, sitting there for that job, just waiting. So how did it get missed? I don't know, but we're gonna work on that, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I always tell them, I say, don't put that black dot on the pull sheet till it is sitting on the bed of the truck.
Exactly.
If it's not sitting on the bed of the truck, do not put that black dot on there because you will forget it.
Every time.
So yeah, every single freaking time, man. And they'll be about 20 minutes away from finishing. Oh, hey, I forgot a latch kit.
Yep.
It's like, oh, wonderful. You're 45 minutes away.
Don't you love to hear
that? Man, I could go into so much shit. Oh, man, I'm going to fire Chris up right now. Freaking half-inch socket. Oh, bro, we were out. Like Chris and I and the shop guy were out driving some posts for a vinyl job last week, and he said, "Bob, go ahead." And we get a text on the Connect Team app says we don't have a half-inch socket in the truck. I was like, "Oh man, that's really unfortunate." Seeing how there's like normally 5, 10 half-inch sockets on each truck because we do Chainlink quite a lot, and there's only a couple sizes that you use: half-inch, 9/16, and every so often some bigger ones, right?
Right.
And I just remember Chris being like, he like put the phone down and he said, "Man, I wouldn't even put that in the chat. I would have clocked out, went to the hardware store up the road, got a half-inch socket, and nobody would have ever known the difference." And I said, "Brother, they're not built like us, man. They just aren't. They're just not made like us anymore." And it just cracked me up, man. And I see him over here, bro.
Oh, I get that for sure.
But that was funny because he got real hot about it, and I was just laughing. I was like, "Oh man, he's right. I would not have put that in chat. I would have been like, nope, go in the store real quick. I'll be back in 10 minutes, y'all."
Yeah. Where's the closest place I can get a half-inch socket? That's where I'm going.
Right. But
there's been
all right,
times
now we segue. Go ahead.
There's been times that this was long ago, but they were an hour away and they didn't have a hammer drill for some reason, and we had to plate mount a post. Why is there not a hammer drill in the truck? I don't know, but boy, it's sure cheaper to send one guy to Home Depot 5 minutes up the road to buy a new hammer drill than for them to come all the way back here to get one. And so that's one of those things where if you're prepared, it saves money, honestly. Because then we got an extra hammer drill, we got still guys sitting around. It's just, it ends up being a whole thing, right?
Absolutely does, man. But so I didn't mean to segue too much off of that because we were going down into a rabbit hole there for a second. But so still on that same topic, I see you guys sell some Bobcat parts. I was on your website last week. Pretty freaking cool, man. I see you guys use a lot of the mud mixers. Tell me about some of the equipment that you guys use for your commercial chain link. And I'm also curious about this concrete truck that you guys just acquired.
Okay. So again, we're a little bit different than any other fence company I know of. And all the guys that work here have worked at other fence companies, and they say they'll never go back. We're very equipment heavy and people poor, Cole, my brother likes to say. So we've got, equipment for everything. We own a Mini X. We don't use it that often, but we own it. We got the MT mini skids. We got 5 of them because, you got to have a spare, right?
Son.
And maybe the spare has to have
a
No, but it's good to have. We send one of those to every single job. Doesn't matter how small, how big. An MT is going to every single job. We only own one skid steer, and it sits more than it gets used. They say to change the oil like every 200 hours or every year. Yeah, we don't hit that 200 hours in a year. Never happened.
Yeah. No.
So that kind of stuff sits.
It's a glorified forklift, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
The forklift gets a ton of hours on it. The skid steer. Yeah. So we do use it. Like we've got a mega mixer for the front of it. Back when we did a lot of bagged concrete, 3 or 4 years ago. We got that. We're looking at switching over to the EZG unit. I don't remember what they call it, but it's great for that. We've got like the EZG mixer for the front of the mini skids too. That's freaking awesome. That's something that anybody should look into getting, is a concrete mixer for your whatever equipment you have. And then we've got a little crane. If anybody follows us on Facebook, I'm sure you've seen pictures of that. Handy for hanging gates, picking operators up out of the back of trucks, things like that. We got a telehandler. We got that mostly to fill this concrete truck that we just got. So a little story on that. We got, I think about a year ago, we bought a volumetric concrete trailer. So what that is, it's the mix on site, the on demand, the mobile mix, whatever they call it. All the dry ingredients go in dry, and then it mixes them on site and makes wet concrete. So you don't got to worry about mixing times. You don't got to worry about scheduling and all that. So we bought this trailer. It only holds 3 yards. 1,000 feet of fence needs more than 3 yards of concrete. I can tell you that right now.
3 yards.
Yeah. So it's super handy, but it's not big enough. But we used it a lot. So we were searching for a truck. Now these trucks range from 8 to 12 yards. It's a CDL truck, air brakes and all that. So unfortunately, I am one of 2 people here that can drive it, so that ends up being my role a lot, but it's not too bad. But we bought that truck. We got a 8 yard is what they say. I squeezed 11 out of it the other day, so I'm not sure how they ran. Yeah, but it's great. We picked that up, and boy, I tell you, it's been running almost constant since we got it. I think 2 months ago. So that's a great purchase, because we talked about logistics a minute ago, and concrete trucks always being late. Guess what? I can just pull up and I can sit there for 30 minutes and they're not ready for me. It's not a big deal. That's been huge. Again, if concrete's an issue for you guys, look into a volumetric truck, because you just load some rock, some sand, and some Portland in, and it can sit there for 2 months and be fine. And then as soon as you need it, it's ready to make concrete.
That's awesome. That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah. So then, some other kind of more into the what stuff goes to what jobs. Like I said, a mini skid goes to everything. The skid steer will go to bigger stuff to dispense concrete. That's really it, and unload material. Trying to think, we got like fence hogs for putting fabric up. That's the big stuff. And then the multitude of hand tools you need, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Well, all right, so let's talk about scheduling and then also pay schedules as well. So how does that work in your realm of things?
So it's all a balance of basically the GC deadlines and the timelines for that. So we kind of set it up to, we know exactly when the completion date is for each project. We know how long it's going to take us, and the schedule kind of moves around based on jobs that come in. So if we get something in that has a deadline of a month from now, that's going to get pushed to the front of the schedule, as long as everything else, works out behind it. As far as the pay schedule, it sucks. 30-day, 60-day, 90-day. I mean, pay when paid, that's the worst.
Right.
You float costs for till you get paid, and you try, you got to have credit. Credit's a big deal, especially because you're buying materials for the next job, but you haven't been paid for the last 3 jobs yet. So yeah, it adds up quick.
You still got to pay all them. Still got to pay all of the employees too, right?
Yeah, payroll never stops. Operating costs never stop. So, it's a balance for sure. I mean, we're fortunate to be in a place where usually it all works out pretty well, and we hardly ever have to dip into the credit, but that's what it's there for if you do need it. So yeah, and then biggest thing I would say to be aware of is liquidated damages. You'll find that on a lot of the commercial contracts. Read the contract, redline what you can, try and get it to be as small of a contract as possible because some of them get pretty lengthy. And yeah, look for those liquidated damages, look for that completion date, get rid of whatever you feel like doesn't apply to you. If it's something that doesn't apply to you, redline it and say, look, this doesn't apply. I'm not going to do the job unless we take this out of the contract. Most of the time, that's not an issue. But yeah, those are the big things.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, we're going to take a break. I'm going to roll the commercial real quick and we'll be back for the rest. So I'll see y'all in about a minute.
National Metal Industries, a family-owned business for 70-plus years, has grown to be recognized for their ability to deliver on not just privacy slats for fence, but all types of fence products. National Metal Industries has all the hardware and tools to get the fence professional in and out of their job with the most ease possible. You can count on National Metal Industries for the most convenient resources in fence products. Visit nmifence.com for more information. As we like to say, you can always pick it right at National.
Bill, you're late.
Boom. I almost made it. I was like 2 seconds late. But yeah, guys, go check out nmifence.com. Ask Mr. Mike Levy for a mailer. Look into their mailers, guys. Awesome stuff. www.nmifence.com. And we can get right back into it. So we were on. All right. So where are you going about landing all of your like commercial jobs? Are you using bid sites? Is it just word of mouth relationships?
It's a pretty good mix. There's a handful of repeat customers, but not a ton. Most of the repeat comes from GCs that you've built a relationship with. I would say, don't quote me on this, but probably about half comes through the bid websites and that kind of thing, and then the other half just through relationships that we've built with some of the local companies. We use like BidNet. I think it's Blue Book, maybe GovBid's another one. There's a handful of them out there. The thing that bugs me is that all the different municipalities and entities all use different websites, which it's annoying, but it is what it is.
Right.
But yeah, we get we pay the whatever small subscription amount, and then they send us everything with the keyword of fence, gate, Chainlink, whatever that may be. So they'll send those over to our office, and then they have the fun job of going through the hundreds of pages of plans trying to see if there is actually fence in there, which a lot of times there's not, or it'll be it'll say fence and gate, and then you go find it and it's a block dumpster enclosure with wood gates, and it's like, well, we're not really going to go for that one. So that's kind of how that process goes. And then a lot of it is GC companies that we've built a relationship with just send us plans directly, and they go, the fence is on page 36, and we go, nice. So that's also super helpful.
Hell yeah, man. So like that way you don't have to sift through 36 pages, right?
Right.
All right, so we're gonna get into some comments because I do have
Okay.
We do have a couple questions for you. So Mr. Isaac Alexander from FenceBid, I think, says, what plan rooms do you recommend?
We primarily use BidNet.
BidNet? Okay.
Yeah. And that's
All right.
that's the most used one in our area, I would say. I think it probably varies around the country.
Okay. And he also says, or a silt fence. I'm not sure where that one's going.
Silt fence, as far as like for erosion control, I know a little bit about that. We used to do some of that. It's like, it almost looks like chain link screening, but they put it in the ground with wood stakes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Chris Steele says, who does the bidding and what software do you use?
So kind of depending on the job, usually we've got 3 different people that look it over. The office folks are usually putting most of it together, and then between myself, Cole, and then sometimes we'll talk to our foreman about stuff, how long he thinks stuff will take, that kind of stuff. That's kind of who looks it all over and makes sure the bid looks good, because we don't want to lose money.
Right.
And then as far as software we use, let's see, we're using Job Nimbus, ArcSight. We're using ArcSight mostly for some of our takeoff type stuff. The whole snap to PDF thing, I tell you, that is a handy feature.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're using Busy for all the time tracking and project photos and all that.
Nice.
We used to be on Connect Team and like that one, but I don't even remember why we ended up on Busy, but that's what we're on.
There we go. Whatever works, right?
Yeah, and then we still use like Google Calendar for the calendar and the 30,000 foot view of the schedule, and then we use Busy for the actual like crew schedule.
Nice. All right, we got Mr. Sean Bahinsky says, "Hey dudes, what's going on, man?" And then,
What's up, Sean?
And then I like this one. What routers do you recommend, CMMM or the other one? I think we all recommend CMM.
Yeah, I think CMM's the name in the game, right?
Yeah, same here. Have you ever heard of another one?
I couldn't tell you.
Me either, bro. Hey, Sean, man, if you want to sponsor me, you should just send me an email, gatekeeperspod@gmail.com.
Yeah, that was free, Sean. You got to pay for the rest.
Yep, right. All right, Mr. Robert Evers is part of the Two Smooth Operators podcast, gate operator out of North Carolina. He says, have you installed some operators yet?
Oh yeah. The automatic gate side of things, that's my wheelhouse, and that's besides driving a concrete truck, that's about all I do in the field. So
really? Okay.
Yeah, we install probably 3 to 4 a month. But we do a lot of service.
Right. Got to have that service contract in there, though.
Oh, yeah, and I've gotten a ton of automatic gate jobs just off of, I've serviced their gate 3 or 4 times. Who are they going to call?
Right.
So there you go, brand new gate, brand new operator.
Heck yeah! All right, so Mr. Isaac Alexander says, busy work, great. Mr.
Yeah,
Sean
we've had good
says,
luck.
my guys. And we've hit all the comments. Yeah, bro, I'll do it. Oh man, heck yeah, dude. Send me an email, thegatekeeperspod@gmail.com. We'll talk. But we are coming up on the end of it. I do have one more question on the landing commercial job. So obviously that's going to take some relationship with your manufacturers. That way, you can get on a line of credit, especially in the commercial world, because I don't know about a whole lot of people who can front, $60,000, $70,000 jobs at a time, 2 or 3, 4 at a time. What's that look like for you guys?
So in our experience, it started small. You're buying the smaller job lot quantities. You're paying cash for it. You're building that relationship. They're getting to know you. You're repeat business. Bills always paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a little line of credit. Terms usually aren't great. Make sure you pay that on time. And
Yeah, right.
no, and then it grows from there. And you can kind of, on a lot of the projects, you can kind of leverage it. Some of the suppliers will do surprisingly a paid when paid. That surprised me a lot. I didn't think they'd go for that. But even, a 30-day, that still helps a ton in the cash flow.
Absolutely does. Absolutely does. Well, all right, man. Here's a growth question. What does 2025 have in store for High Pointe Companies? Are you seeing growth, or are you guys seeing stacking money?
Hopefully a little bit of both, honestly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're focusing on some more efficiency stuff. Getting those standard operating procedures really dialed in. We've got the more basic stuff all written out, but we need to go more in depth, and we need to get everything written down, because if one of us gets hit by a bus, that might be a pretty big problem for the company continuing. So that's
Absolutely.
kind of going to be our focus, and then we've always been focused on steady, slow growth. We're always hiring, but we're very particular. So we'd like to bring on 2 or 3, 4 more guys next year, but they got to be the right guys. So a little bit of that, and hopefully, with those efficiencies, with some more guys, we can bring it a little tighter and make some more money.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And I am going to segue into this, because this is going to be our topic 2 weeks from now with Chris Steele. If you're watching, you better put it on your calendar. Put it on your calendar, sir. How do you maintain the culture to attract those right guys at High Pointe Company?
That's a hard one, because some
I
of
did
these other
hit
guys
you
talk about
without the pre-written note question. I was gonna say, man, I got one that's not written down for you.
No, it's all good. A lot of the guys talk about, manufacturing the culture. And I get that to a point, but also it's got to be real. It's got to be, the lifeblood of the company. Everybody's got to believe in it. So that's why I said we're real tight on who we hire. They've got to fit in with the culture, with the company, with the other guys. And fortunately, if you build that culture to a point, the bad apples will weed themselves out, which is fantastic. And then guys you bring on, if they don't quite fit in with that culture, they're not going to stay for long. So it kind of is a self-directing problem, as long as you've got that foundation in place and you've got guys that believe in it.
Nice.
So yeah, it's still the trade. So there's a lot of joking around and crap talking, but that's the way it ought to be, right?
That's what makes it enjoyable at the end of the day, man. If you can get work done and you can bullshit and laugh and have a good time while doing it, are you really even working at that point? Like, yes, we're out here sweating and we're lifting stuff, but like, come on, man, you're having a fun time and you're hanging out with what I consider as my family. Because at the end of the day, something that I tell all of the new guys, and I always like to get them in the truck with me one-on-one, either like giving them a ride back from the job site from their first day, or giving them a ride to the job site. And I like I might tell them, because I'm bluntly honest, and I'm like, look, man, I hang out with these guys more than I do my family, more than I do my wife, more than I do my kids, my dogs, my home, everything. So I'm going to treat this guy next to me, standing to my right, as my blood brother, because I don't give a shit if we're not blood brothers and he's just here for a paycheck. I spend more time with him than I do with my entire family. So
Right.
we want to keep it like that and keep it as, yeah, bro, you're going to piss me off one day and I'm going to piss you off the next day. But as long as 501 comes along and we can still dap each other up and go home and come back and still dap each other up, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Because
No, I always tell everybody, you know, as long as 4 days out of the 5-day week, you got a smile on your face and you're cracking jokes, we're good.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have a bad day, but most of the time, we're here to have fun. We're here to have a good time. We're here to build some fence. I mean, that's all there is to it, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's the way I see it, man. Like, I see it like not just even the one day a week. I mean, I kind of go into a lot of like the motivational stuff, and we as humans, we are averaging 2 bad days out of 50 days. All right, that's two out of 50. All right, so one every 25 days, right? So that's kind of something that I look at. You know, like especially with like new guys and when they're in their third, fourth week, when they're starting to really drop the facade that they've been like putting on from the interview state. Like, how do you play with your emotions? Like, how can you control your emotions? Because I'll tell you what, right now, I've been at High Steel since June. And I'll tell you what, I've had some shitty ass days, but I will show up and act like nothing is fucking wrong. Huge ass grin on my face, ready to go kill it. And all the guys are just like, how do you smile every single day? And I'm like, bro, you just hang your feelings up at the door. You can pick them up whenever you leave at 5:01.
Yeah.
But until then, they're right there at that door frame, and that's it. And that's how I was taught, and that's how I look at it. But there's that. But we are closing out, man. Like, you got any closing thoughts for the viewers?
No, I mean, if anybody's trying to get in commercial work, it's really not that hard. We've had we've been blessed with it. Start small. I mean, we say commercial work, but we do jobs that are 10-foot repairs. Get into that, start building relationships, and it'll take you from there.
There we go. There we go. Well, guys, once again, Dalton Patterson of High Pointe Companies out of Colorado, and I forgot Fort Collins, Colorado.
Yep.
Guys, go and check out their operation. Awesome, solid operation. Can't wait to have your brother on soon, so we can get both sides of it. I loved having you on. Love your wife. So glad we got to meet you guys. And we had fun in Vegas. Looking forward to Salt Lake City. Are you going to be there?
I think so. We haven't made the plans yet, but
yeah. All right. Well, I'll see you if I see you, right?
Yep.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, man, thank you so much for coming on, guys. And again, go check out High Pointe Companies. Go look at their operation. Go look at what they got going on. Awesome stuff if you're looking for some motivation into the commercial Chainlink world. And like Mr. Dalton, I will talk to you soon. And I hope to see you in Salt Lake. All right.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys. Wonderful show. I got one more thing, and then I'm gonna leave it to you guys. You guys have a wonderful Tuesday night, guys. We have Fence Week coming up, and I almost freaking forgot because it was a wonderful freaking interview in the freaking new studio that's not even done yet. And I'm wearing the Mr. Fence Academy shirt, one of my favorite ones. Guys, look what I got for 20 of y'all who come to Pace for Fence Week. Oh, no. 19 of you guys, if I'm being honest, because I gave one to Josh, because Josh is awesome. But, man, guys, go look at this. Come check it out, guys. We're already pretty much filled up, but there are still spots to grab. If you're not interested in like coming to Pace, there's 23 other locations, guys. Go get signed up next Monday, 7 p.m., 7 a.m. at whatever location you have signed up for. It's going to be a wonderful week. 4 days of fence training, 1 day of business training. go get signed up. Chris Steele says no more spots. No more free spots at Pace, guys. You can pay. But that just goes to show you that this is going to be a huge movement, guys. I'll see y'all next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central. Be there or be square.